Well, how did your rabbi and the Hasidic Jewish community that you had, so embedded yourself into take that?
Different ways, but the majority of people felt that I had succumbed to the pressures of Hollywood and the music industry, and therefore I had, abandoned my faith and all of it for shallow purposes. And people were really angry. And like I said, I was, reading those comments and I'd fire back, and that began a very dark period for me until I was able to flip out of it. I mean, one experience I had in LA was there was a synagogue that I used to go to, like I said, and it was a place that I always felt comfortable in and loved. It was Hasidic, and there weren't a lot of people like me that went there at the time. And one time I'm there, and the rabbi's giving this fiery speech, and he keeps staring at me and looking at me, the Strymel and the whole thing. And I don't speak Yiddish like that well, so I'm afterwards I asked someone to translate, and he goes, he's talking about trying to dress like a goy, trying to look like a non-Jew, because I was dressed in plain clothes, and he's going on about why do you want to make yourself look like them and all this kind of shit. And I left upset, and I think it was like 2 years later I came back, and now I have no beard, right? Then I had a beard but regular clothes, and he was freaking out. And I see the rabbi, I'm davening there, he runs over to me after synagogue, and he goes, I need you to come home with me. I live around the corner. You got to stop at my house. And I'm like, at that point, I'm used to telling rabbis to fuck off. And so I'm like, very guarded, and I'm like, hell no. And he's like, you don't understand. My wife is a huge fan. You have to come. You have to come. I get to the house. I find it. I go to the house. It's on the way. And I see like the TV is on. I walk inside. The wife is watching TV on Shabbos, but with the whole shtick, And she goes, she's freaking out. Matisyahu's in the house. And she goes, I need to take you for a walk. And I'm like, this is starting to get weird, So we go for a walk. And then she goes, my husband is an atheist. We don't believe in God at all. She's like, we come from this neighborhood in Borough Park. We never were taught how to open a bank account, how to read and write in English. They have a whole Facebook group of people that are afraid don't know how to transition into the world, come from this Hasidic world. Their families are going to leave them. Everyone, they're going to be left alone. They don't know what the fuck to do. They don't have diplomas or any skills. And he said, when you shaved your beard, it gave us all like this hope that maybe one day we'll be able to also. So, there's different ways in which it affected people in different ways, And that's what I came to realize later on was like, for my core fans that are mostly not even Jewish, just across the country or whatever, to them, it was a really powerful thing for a lot of people that have grown up within the, whether it's a different religion, Christianity, or whatever it is. It was like a sign of sort of like coming out and of freedom, which that became a big part of what my, what Matisyahu meant to me, at that time.
Well, by 2012, you put out your fourth album, Spark Seeker. And that had Live Like a Warrior, which is my second favorite song by you.
Thanks. Also not written by me. I mean,
okay.
Yeah, that song was delivered to me on a crazy thing, because I write most of my music, but not music, but songs and lyrics. And that one and One Day are two of the ones that I did. And that one was given to me. You know who the artist Jack Knight is? Did you ever hear Jack Knight?
No, I'm not familiar.
From the like Harlem days, like the Diddy, like that whole camp. But he's a writer. He became a writer. He never, as an artist, he didn't really blow up, but he became a good writer. And someone gave me that song on a Saturday night. It was like after Rosh Hashanah. I remember I was on my way. I was playing at a Christian college, and I'd spent 3 days in some rabbi's house because I couldn't travel because it was 2 days of Rosh Hashanah plus Shabbos. And I remember that Saturday night, my manager sent me the song. And they're like, I know you don't take songs and you don't do this, but listen to this one. And I listened to it, and immediately I was like, I want that song. That song was written for me, Yeah.
So on that Spark Seeker album, you did 2 songs with Shyne.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of, yeah.
And I remember me and Shyne were talking at one point. I think we're actually in Israel at the same time. We were trying to link up because remember when he got out of prison, he went Hasidic Jewish.
Yeah.
with the side curls,
Full
beard,
Hasidic.
and the whole nine.
Full Hasidic. I saw that shit like in the New York Times, and I almost like choked on my coffee Because that was the first tune that I did. I did it at this thing, Arts on 3rd in Mount Vernon, on 3rd Street in Mount Vernon. And I played, I performed with a friend of mine, and I sang that hook over the, it's a Barrington Levy, sample. And that was like one key moment in my career, or like in my life, when I knew I had it, and I spit that, and the reaction of the crowd was insane. And I always remember when that came out. Then I see that, and I'm like, he's gone Hasidic. I hit him up right away. It was like the first, I called him that morning. I got in touch with him. Yeah, and then he kind of bugged out on me.
Well, yeah, you said he's a confusing dude.
Is that what I said? Yeah. I mean, he's dope. He showed up to the studio, and there was something about him. He seemed like he was like he had lived quite a life, out of jail and everything. And he was like cane and plastic bags, someone schlepping his bags, like full Hasidic plastic bags, like a cane. He was like, I came all the way here for you, Matis. I'm like, this is 40-minute drive from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. What are you talking about, man? It seemed like he just walked across the desert and shit, just passed out in the studio, slept for like 4 hours, woke up. We put on the beat, just took off his bekisha, took off his hat, and just bodied that shit. Just bodied the mic. No writing, no nothing. And then was unhappy with the vocal, We did a lot to try to get the vocal loud, because his voice was kind of shredded. I don't know what happened in jail or whatever, but his voice was, so we did a lot of work, to try to get that vocal loud, and it wasn't loud enough for him. And then he took me off the tracks and released them on his album.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Wow, okay, because these days Shyne, I don't think is Jewish anymore.
Oh yeah, is that what? I have no idea.
Well, he doesn't have a beard, side curls.
Oh, he left it. He's
definitely not Hasidic anymore. I don't know if religion-wise he's still that. I've never really had a conversation with him about that.
Yeah.
Because we did an interview. I believe, I think it might have been in Israel, because he was wearing the Hasidic gear.
Yeah.
During this, but
he was posted up at the King David Hotel for he had a floor at the hotel for a while. I think he had yeshiva. He was teaching. I think he was a rabbi. He had a whole crew of dudes that were like me, that were grew up in late 90s listening to hip hop, and now fucking Shyne is, and we all became Hasidic, and we're and now all of a sudden Shyne became Hasidic. You're there was he had followers,
Yeah, no, that was wild. I think I had the same reaction when I first saw the pictures. I was like, whoa, because me and him actually spoke while he was in prison.
Yeah.
We spoke on the phone. So yeah, seeing that was really left field. But I guess, he had his time, he had his moment, and, he moved on, and now he's doing, he's involved in the government in Belize. He's married, has kids.
Oh, cool.
I'm happy for him overall. I guess everyone has their own journey, try to figure out who they are and so forth. And coming out of prison, I'm sure there's a lot of confusion and a lot of trying to figure out what just happened, because from what I understand, and he spoke on this recently, he went to jail over a shooting that Diddy actually did, because Diddy had a gun as well, and the girl who got shot was saying that Diddy was the one that shot her. But when it came to the case, Diddy got their trial separated. Yeah. And I believe that Diddy actually testified against Shyne, which ended up getting Shyne a whole bunch of years, and
10
Diddy
years.
got probation.
He was in 10 years.
Shyne even said, this guy ruined my life.
Yeah,
but,
he was in prison for 10 years. But then if you talk to Jack Knight or some of the other people, they said he used to wild out. Shyne was I don't know. I have no idea what happened. Who knows? But but basically the idea, that's what everyone said
before even signing a record deal. He was out there.
Yeah, but everyone said that basically he did the time for Diddy. That was the known thing that everyone would say. He did it, but I don't know. But yeah, he crazy, man. But that's good because he comes from Belize, because he's his father is the prime minister of Belize.
Yeah, I asked him about this.
He's the illegitimate child.
Being the prime minister at one time.
Yeah. And then he came to, I guess they sent them away or something like that.
Well, he went to America to go live with his mother, I believe.
Yeah.
And that was the whole thing, is that after he was convicted of the shooting and he did his time, he got sent back.
He couldn't come back.
You can't, because I don't believe he was totally legal the whole time. So
wow.
if you're not a full-blown U.S. citizen and you go and shoot somebody,
Yeah.
you're going to get sent back to where you came from. Same thing's going to happen to Tory Lanez when he finishes off his prison term.
Sure.
He's going to get sent back to Canada.
Yeah.
You can't do that. I mean, and that's just not America. Go to Mexico as an American and shoot somebody. You think you could stay there in Mexico after that? Like, they'll send you back.
Yeah, sure.